Good morning, everyone. So today we're going to walk through Sage Service Operations. And I'd like to start out just by reviewing the high-level 30,000-foot, what's the architecture, what type of individuals within my organization can use the software, and in what roles. So as Corey had mentioned, Sage Service Operations has been around for several years now. And it works with both Sage 300 and Sage 100. Today we're going to mostly talk about the Sage 300 aspect of the product. So today, really what it does is it extends the functionality of your existing accounting database. So it's not actually a separate database. It actually allows you to share, selective information via the internet with your, for instance, field employees. So let's say you had either a technician or a construction crew member in the field. They'll have the ability to look at their smartphone or tablet, see where they need to go today. They can also push information from the field back through the cloud and into your Sage 300 contracted database, such as work order notes, work order time, construction job time, things of that nature. So it's really a highly customized platform that allows your employees to access additional functionality from the field. We also have features that can be used by the office team. That includes dispatch, and dispatch can be used for both work orders and construction jobs. That's basically the ability to schedule out and plan work in advance. We have mapping functionality. We have a whole time review and approval component that is also for both work order time and job cost time. And we have a quote feature really geared towards service quotes. And we also have a client portal that's primarily focused on service work orders. So if your client is McDonald's and McDonald's wanted to log in and see who was here last week, what did they do, they can log in and access that information. And Sage Service Operations works with most platforms. It's generally device agnostic. So what does it look like? It's just high level. So on the left-hand side, we have the look and feel on a tablet. It does look different on a smartphone. We have larger buttons, and we have what's called a responsive web app design. One other thing I just want to point out is the flexibility we have with time entry. We get a lot of questions around time entry because every customer has a different preference. We can support both punch actions on work orders and jobs, the ability to punch in and punch out to capture time. So when I start and then complete an assignment, that'll automatically calculate the 0.02 hours of time. Or we can use what we call standard time entry, which is basically the ability to enter the job or the work order and the quantity of hours performed at that task. And we can support both standalone individual time entry. So if I'm a crew member, I can only enter time for myself. Or we can support what we call supervisor time entry, whereas one individual with a license could enter time for 20 people. All right. So what does it do? We're going to go through a lot of this, but so obviously we can manage work orders, capture signatures in the field, generate quotes, generate work orders, and update work order detail on the service management work order side of things. On the construction side of things, we can manage our job teams and capture time entry for those jobs and identify the cost codes for those time entries. We can also track production units. Good example of that would be, let's say I'm a roofing contractor and we have a 100,000 square foot roof. We could track how many squares of roof we install every day. We can also complete safety forms and capture markup photos. So safety forms, forms in general and photos markup, that's supported on both work orders and jobs. And then finally, we have features for the office staff, which we'll touch on today. And we also have a client portal, which if we have time, we'll go through that. So let's just refresh this here. So I'm going to walk you through Sage Service Operations, and I'm going to start off with the service management work order components, and then I'm going to transition to the job time, job scheduling components. So I'm logged in here as an administrator, so just keep in mind that this might not be the look and feel of the product that an end user, such as a technician or a crew member in the field, would see, because you might limit their visibility. But I'm logged in as basically an office person with full visibility into all of the features and functionality. So starting off here, I'm going to just touch on the dashboard. So the dashboard, obviously, it's a feature that is generally used by the office. Kind of what's the heartbeat of my service department, how many work orders today, how many invoices did my team generate today, and this is all reading in real time from your service management database for those of you that own service management. We also have the ability to customize the look and feel of information. I can bring up customized reports here, such as Jay's work orders that are profitable. You can customize these inquiries. I can customize the columns and the information that's in here. So I can say, only show me work orders completed yesterday for a specific client, or show me work orders by technician within a date range, or show me work orders only for this center. And as you can see, you can easily drill in to these inquiries. We can export those inquiries to Excel. It just takes about 10 seconds here to dump that to Excel, where we can further slice and dice the filtered data. So let me show you what that looks like. A lot of people, it's a really easy way to get information out of service management. Once again, this is that feature that requires service management, but not all of our functionality requires service management. So you can see we can actually pull out a lot of detail that follows up behind the work order itself. All right. Moving on, we also have dispatching functionality built into the product, and I'll walk through a couple of scenarios here. So let's go with the Boston service team here. I'm just updating my group. So in a nutshell, we have the ability to display what's on the dispatch board in service management. So these are my work orders, but we have a little more flexibility because I can see a weekly view at a glance. I can also change it to a 2-week view or a monthly view, or if I want, I can drill into a daily view here. So to schedule work, all you need to do is drag and drop the work on the appropriate employee. When I drop the assignment on the employee, that employee gets an email if you want to use email notifications, letting them know that they need to go there. And if I go and look at the daily view, I can see that I have that work order for Gordon. I can drag it out. It's all drag drop functionality. If I go back to the weekly view, I can't see this one because it's scheduled from 12 a.m. to 1 a.m. because I don't have the right range on my daily view here. But so that's how you can schedule a work order. And as you can see, I can go forward and back in time if I want to. So if I want to go to last week, I can see all of my updates for last week. But let's go to this week. So real quick, while we're on the schedule view, just want to show you for those construction job users that may not have service management, you could also schedule by job. So I just pulled up a job here for Northwest Food Warehouse. I can see all of my cost codes. I can see all of my estimated hours and actual hours. So these are the actual cost codes and estimates set up for this specific job 03-001. And if I needed to schedule somebody like Jay on this job, and he was going to work on exterior signs, all I got to do is drag it and drop it, and that actually puts it on Jay's schedule between 7 and 9 a.m. All right. I can drill into any of these as a dispatcher, so I can go in here to the work order, and I can see, I drilled them both, but here's the work order. I can see details. I have a lot of people assigned to this one work order. I can see the overview. I can also just drill into the work order, which I'll do in a little bit. And I can also look at the jobs details. So I can see it's scheduled to start at 7 a.m. and end at 9 a.m. You can set defaults within the system if you'd like it to be an automatic 8-hour day. I can put additional details in there. Go here now so that Jay will see that on his smartphone when he looks at his schedule. All right. So let's go ahead and let's walk through. I'm going to walk through a typical workflow for a work order. So let's go ahead and search for a client. Let's say it's Bank of America in Boston. So I can type in the name of the client, and just start typing in the address. And as you can see, that narrows down my results. So we want to make it super simple to generate a work order. So this brings me to the what we call the client service site page. So this is everything that has to do with this specific address for Bank of America. So I can see all my work orders, any equipment we're tracking. I can see additional site detail. I can see quotes that are outstanding, notes, any forms that have been completed, such as maybe preventative maintenance checklist or a safety checklist. I can see agreements for the site, and I can also see my attachments that may be there for the site. All right. What I want to do is I want to go ahead and create a new work order. You can also create work orders in service management. We're doing the same thing. We're updating the same exact database fields. So let's go ahead and create a new work order. It's going to pre-fill in the site here. I can pick a center, so let's just go with, I'll leave it at Boston HVAC. You can pick a permission code. You know, these are all pretty, for those of you that are already on service management, if you need to manage work orders, these are all pretty standard form fields. We're just going to fill in some data here. Let's just say it's an HVAC call, it's service, and I'm just going to say, you know, NTE, I'll also say no air. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and generate the work order. I'm just going to assign it to myself on the fly. So you could also set this up so your on-call technician on nights and weekends could generate their own work orders. So let's go ahead and generate a work order. All right, so that work order is generated. So if I was to go back to my scheduler page under J, you'll see now we have that additional work order right here for Bank of America. No air conditioning in the building. That's the one I just generated. All right, so what I want to do now is I want to switch hats. I just showed you features that are mostly used by individuals within the office. Now I'm going to kind of flip things around and show you what it looks like for a service technician or a field employee to when they log in from the field. So what does it look like to my field employees? So I'm going to go to the assignments page. The assignments page is typically the only view or the primary view that a field employee would have. So I like to think of this assignments page as my weekly time card. So I can see days of the week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I can see the activities for the day. So today is Wednesday, right? I can also collapse these if I want to by clicking on them or touching them with my finger if I'm on a tablet. Or I can say, just show me today, right? Here's the calendar. So I just consolidated it down to today's view so I can cleanly see today's activities. We want to make it as simple as possible for the employees in the field to manage the schedule. So on Wednesday, I have one construction job assigned to me in 2 separate work orders. So let's go ahead into that work order, and I'm going to go through a very basic, typical workflow as a technician. So the first thing I'd probably do, we go to assignments, and I'd start myself on the assignment. So basically, we're updating the assignment to started, and that updates the dispatch board to green. I'm going to go ahead now and if I'm a landscaper or a mechanical contractor or a plumber, maybe I'm going to identify, you know, the piece of equipment I'm working on. All right, so this would be the client's asset. So maybe I'm working on this, you know, Carrier Corporation air conditioner. So what I'm doing is I'm saying, hey, this work order is specifically to fix this Carrier air conditioner. This will help you build a history in the database on the work order side of things. Next, maybe I want to go ahead and add some notes. So we can add a note. So we have lots of notes within the system, but these are the 2 notes primarily used at the work order level. So I can put in a work performed note, and I can put in an internal note, office note. These are non-customer viewable. But let's put in a customer viewable work performed note. If I want, I can use canned responses to pre-fill a story. And I'm going to say, hey, more notes go here. Change the filters, right? I can't type today. And then down here under the office note, you can go ahead and, you know, use a canned message or a custom message, but I want to let my boss know there's a safety issue on site. So when I save these notes, those notes are going to be emailed to my boss so that they have immediate visibility of the issue, and it saves me time from picking up the phone and calling my boss to verbally explain the issue. All right, so we got those notes in there. See, I have an indicator there that there's 2 notes. The next item I might do would be, let's add some parts. I'm going to add a part here. So when we search for parts, we're searching the inventory database, specifically for this functionality within service management. We can search for the part number or the description or a little bit of both. I'm just going to pick some wire here. And let's say we're going to use 20 feet of wire. And I'm going to save that. And then we can go ahead and maybe we need to add a miscellaneous item. So I'm going to add a miscellaneous item. You can use predefined miscellaneous items. So I think I have a crane in here. Yep, I got a crane. So maybe we use a crane for 2 hours on this job. And then maybe I needed to, pay for parking, right? Paid for parking. So you can type in anything you might want. We want to make this super simple so that the technicians write down everything that we can possibly charge back to the customer to maximize our revenue. So I'm just going to save that. So I have a few items there. Now maybe I need to complete a report, right? So I'm just going to, let's see here. What do I have? Got a lot of different reports here. I'm just going to do a pre-start checklist. You can build out your own forms. This is just giving you the look and feel of it, but these can be used on both construction jobs and work orders. So I can go ahead and have multiple choice. I can put comments in here, more notes. I can have drop downs. I can have multiple people, sign the form. So let's say you're a foreman on a construction job and you have 10 crew members with you. You could have a toolbox talk in the morning and then have everybody sign this form, certifying that they attended the meeting and that they put on their, personal protective equipment. So if I go to attachments down here, there's my PDF form that I just completed. All right. Now maybe I need to go ahead and take a photo. Photos are something that also work on work orders and construction jobs. I just happen to be working on a work order here, but I can go ahead. Actually, let me back up and slow down a little bit. If I was on a smartphone or a tablet, our product is aware that that device has a camera. So when I hit choose file on a device that has a camera, it's going to prompt me and say, do you want to take a photo? In this case, I'm presenting this demonstration from my laptop, so I'll need to just actually identify the photo. So let's go ahead and pick this photo right here. I'm going to open that. And then I can give it a title. You can predefine title. So I'm just going to say it's a safety issue we found. And I'm going to go ahead and I can give it a category if I want to. Once again, you can customize all these drop downs to help you manage the data. So I'm going to upload that image. So that image is now in the system. Now I need to kind of mark up that photo so I can identify where the safety issue was. So I can go to my sketch feature here, and it's going to bring up my form. Should be bringing it up. Let me go back and do that again. Hold on a second. So go attachments, sketch. All right, there it is. So here's, so I'm going to say here is the safety issue. And as you can see, we have the client contact information. This one happens to be a work order. It could be a job. We're also defining the asset or the piece of equipment we're working on. But I want to bring that image into this form here. So I can go ahead using these different markup tools, right? I can make different notes and comments. This is best obviously done on a tablet in the field. But I can go ahead and change, the color here. And I can say I want to draw a line and draw a couple of lines there. Pretty straightforward. I can save that sketch. We're going to actually save that as a PDF that you can use to send to the general contractor or to the customer to, highlight what that safety issue is. So we go to attachments here. There's my sketch. All right. But that's marked up and documented. All right. So let's go ahead and clock out of this assignment. So as I mentioned, we have many different ways to manage jobs. Manage time entry for both work orders and jobs. Here I'm just going to suspend this assignment. So what that should do, if I have it turned on, let's see if it's turned on. Yep, I do have it turned on. I automatically created the cost, the payroll side of the transaction, right? And I also created the bill side of the transaction, and I obviously have my SM settings set to automatically round up to the quarter hour. That's one way of doing time, and once again, I'll show you in a moment how we can do time on a job, which is very similar. But I can also alternatively just add, 4 hours of time here manually, the old-fashioned way. All right, so I entered time 2 different ways here. Now maybe I'm complete with my work and I want to go home. How do I capture the customer signature? So I go down to reports again. Reports is a couple different features, but I'm going to create the service report right here. I'm going to continue. So this is going to have your logo, your company contact information, with identifying the client piece of equipment that we're repairing. And this form here, it's very customizable. So you might be saying to yourself, hey, I don't want the customer to see the pricing here. So that's simply changing a global setting, and we can hide that pricing. All right. Let's go ahead and capture a signature. And I'm going to save that as a PDF. And if you want to, we can automatically email that PDF to the customer. So let's take a look at what that final service report looks like. All right, so there's the form completed with the signature. You can also add your own, legal jargon at the bottom of the screen here. All right, so let's exit out of that. Now, if I go back to my assignments page here as a technician, as I can see on Wednesday, I have my hours are now in for that call. Sorry, excuse me. All right, so let's go ahead now and let's say I want to go ahead, and work on a job in the afternoon. I just entered my time for a work order, but in this case, I'm pre-scheduled also for a job. So I can drill into that job, and I can complete a field report. I can track production units, things of that nature. But I'm just going to go ahead and punch in and punch out of that call. And obviously, if it's on a smartphone, it would be properly sized for the size of the screen. So I can clock in. I'm just going to suspend this. It might not create an entry because I'm doing it too quickly. Just to give you an idea. So if I go back to my assignments page, I can see I don't have any time in there. It might take a second here. Let's just refresh it. I don't think it's going to create one because I did it in under a minute. But it would show the 0.1 hours there. So that's one way of managing job time. The other way you can do it is just basic, what we call time entry, assignment time. So if we open up the system this way, your user could have access to the job that we want to give them access to. They can identify the cost code. So let's just say we're working on the final cleaning. If I'm a foreman and I have crew members working under me, and if I'm the foreman managing the time for all my crew members, I can pick, who else I'm entering time for. I can pick my pay type. I'm just going to put 2 hours in, put some notes in. We are done for the day. Now, another feature we have here is we can also track production units. I don't have any set up, but that would be, how many squares of roof do we install, or how many, diffusers, or how many feet of wire did we install today. And you can track those estimates against actual. So let's go ahead and save that entry there. So when I did that, we're creating that time entry. I can now see my 2 hours of timer in the system. I also have some other neat tools. I can go to tools and I can do time summary here. So I can see everybody on my team. These are all my team members. I can see all of their hours entered for the week or for the day, so forth and so on. But back to the assignments page, just to circle back on a few things. Once again, it's my weekly time card. I can see all of my activity for the week. I can see I have 2 regular hours on this job, 2 here. As you can see, we're adding up the time entry for the day and for the week. At the end of the week, we have the ability to basically allow your field employee to sign their timesheet. So I'm going to go ahead and submit the weekly time. I'm going to say, yep, pay me. You can customize that message. A lot of our California customers will put in, I certify that I took all my breaks and I did not get injured. I'm going to assign it. I'm going to hit done. And I'm going to submit that. It's going to prompt me, are you sure? Yes, I'm sure. So now I basically am letting the office know that I've completed with my timesheet on the 18th at 12:26 p.m. All right. Now, that was kind of a walkthrough of some of the core features for both technicians and construction crew members in the field, as far as capturing time and some basic functionality. We also have, other features such as quotes and some other tools here that I'm not going to get into today. We have the ability to manage multiple bill rates per client, which extends the functionality of rate sheets within service management. We have a built-in tasking manager. We have a skill manager. But we also have, time review and approval workflows. Just real quickly, show you what that looks like. I have the ability to see time submitted by employee. I can set up multiple steps for time review and approval. I can edit time entries on the fly if I want to. So it's a pretty comprehensive solution as far as collecting information from the field and eliminating as many pieces of paper in the field as possible and immediately making that information available within your Sage 300 database. So with that said, I'm going to open up to questions now, if there are any.
Yeah, Jay, there was a question here that is text notification an option?
No, text notification, let me check. I don't think it is. But let's see.
Yeah, I couldn't remember that right offhand either.
Yeah. Notifications. No, that's not it. Admin settings. I think it's over here somewhere. Sorry. Notifications. I believe, yeah, right now, I think that's in the enhancement backlog. I think there's only notification via email today.
Perfect. Does the time entry allow a foreman to enter certified payroll classifications for their team?
Yes, what job is certified? Let me do it right now. So let me enter a time entry. Actually, so I submitted my time here, right? So I'm going to undo my timesheet because I'm an administrator and I can do that. Otherwise, I can't enter any more time. So menu. This is the timesheet, by the way, with the signature on it that was submitted for that employee. I'm going to go, how do I do that? Clear timesheet submission. All right. So let's go ahead and let's see if we can do certified. I'm pretty sure we can. I know we can. I'm just going to show you. I think Fort Wayne is a certified job. So I can put my cost code in. Where's my certification? Oh, there it is. So you can use default. So here on the drop-down, you can easily use a default. That would look to the employee in the payroll module, and if there's a default certification for that employee, we'll automatically use that, or you can allow them to override the certified class. All right, next question.
Oh, perfect. Here's an important one. Is all the entry you demonstrated fed into SM, or do you have to do duplicate entry? And absolutely, it's fully integrated.
Yeah, if you want to see real quick, I can show you guys.
Yeah, but that'd be great.
Here's SM. Now, if you don't own SM and you're just doing job time entry you don't own SM, you do need to export and import. We have a little tool to export the entries at the end of the week for time entry purposes only. But if you do own SM, let's go into SM here. I will show you those entries. So let's go to view. No. So if we go to view work orders, here's that work order that was generated from Sage Service Operations. So everything's in real time. It's important to understand that the database of record is service management. So whenever we're creating a work order, entering time, adding notes, it's all is stored in service management. So here's the notes here that I entered from the field. As you can see, everything's there. If I was to go into my time entries are also in the edit time entries bucket ready to go. So I can search for today's entries. So you can see all the entries. So the one with work orders are work order entries. The ones without work orders are the job time entries. So if I scroll to the right here, you can see I have a couple of job time entries there also. And there's my certified class because I selected them on those ones. Or it pulled in the default for that employee. So any more questions?
Yeah, just one more here, Jay. I think, and the rest of them I think we have covered. There was a question on GPS integration. Yes, we can capture where the workers are, so you can review that at the punch in, punch out. But then, can we issue can purchase orders be issued to techs through service operations?
Yes, I didn't do that, but if I go back into a work order, that's core functionality. So I can go here to the work. So there's create a new PO. I can pick for a vendor. Let's just go with George's Excavations, pick up material. So you can also do credit POs. So when I generate the PO here, So this was, well, I'm jumping too fast around, but we can allow the technicians to generate POs, or we can allow them to only see POs that were generated. So I'm just going to show you what that would look like if it was already generated, so I can put some numbers in here, save. But if you do have your technicians generating their own POs, they can also take photos and add the photos. But if we go back to the work order here, on the overview page, if I scroll down the page, I can see all my purchase orders for this job, and then click on that and see what they're supposed to pick up at George's Excavation.
That's fantastic. Jay, I think that pretty much takes us to the end of our time here. Can you flash up that PowerPoint slide that has our contact information on it?
Sure.
So, guys, if you do have some questions, as always, please contact your local Sage business partner, or you can call us here directly. Our phone line is 1-800-858-7095. And you can also email us at cresales@sage.com, and we can get you some more information on this. We will be sending out a copy of this recording, but for a lot of these other specific questions, reach out to us by email, and we'd be happy to get those answered for you. Jay, any closing comments for us today?
Nope, I appreciate everybody's time today, and hope the rest of your day goes well.
All right, thank you very much, guys. Take care.